Goodness gracious sakes alive. I'll tell you what. It's amazing how real life gets into real life, even when you are a Christian, you're a follower of Jesus. Well, today I'm starting a series of sermons on the book of James, which is actually a letter that he wrote. He said to all God's people scattered over the whole world. And in it, he's got one major theme, and that is faith without works is dead, and the flip-flop, works without faith, are useless. And so we're going to be talking in this series about different ways that God comes to us, and today we're going to be talking, as Ms. Sharon said so nicely, we're going to be talking about anger. We're going to be focusing on the reading that Ken read to us just a little bit earlier. You probably know that anger can be something as simple as being upset that your team didn't make the playoffs, to frustration with technology when you're at a funeral and your phone starts ringing and you don't know how to stop it, all the way to the horrible massacre on Wednesday as the disgruntled employee, Vester Flanagan, goes and mercilessly guns down Allison Parker and her cameraman, Adam Ward. I don't know how you're feeling, but it seems to me like the world is just getting angrier. Do you feel like that? I don't know if it's the whole world or America, but I think it's global. And it seems to be happening over a number of things. For me, as I think it through, there are ill-defined wars, the absolute brazenness of terrorists, the unsteady stock market, changing accepted moralities, rapidly expanding technology, and just public, blatant disrespect for other people. Now, you probably have your own list of pet peeves that drives you to a conniption. But it's just an angry world. And so I figure we can start to make it better. I'm not going to sit around for the rest of the thing playing, ain't it awful, geez, things are horrible. I want to offer some solutions to the thing. And I want to base it on two Bible passages. First, the book of James that we read just a little bit ago. Can you read it with me? You must understand this, my beloved. Let everyone be quick to listen, slow to speak, slow to anger, for your anger does not produce God's righteousness. And then words from our Lord Jesus. Read it with me. You have heard that our ancestors were told, you must not murder. If you commit murder, you're subject to judgment. But I say, if you are even angry with someone, you are subject to judgment. Now, I'm one of these people that believes that God's always got a word for his people. And that when they finalize the last page of what's going to be in the Bible, that God did not stop inspiring people, but he continues inspiring people to this day. And I think this is an inspired word from God. For every minute you're angry, you lose 60 seconds of happiness. You believe that? So what I want to do today is share with you 5 surefire, second as in fractions of a minute, savers. And we're going to talk about those for 3 reasons. First of all, I want to talk about it because it will make our lives better. Second, we're going to talk about it because we want to obey what God wants us to do. And third, so that when we leave this world, we leave a happy footprint behind us, like a bunch of people with happy feet. We're going through, remember last week, wear the gospels of the shoes, wear the shoes of the gospel of peace. So I'm going to share 5 of those, and I think we'll find them helpful. The first one is clear up any incorrect ideas you have about anger. There's a lot of stuff going on about anger, and it's gone through different phases, but they're all myths. I've got 3 really strong ones. The first is that it's healthy to vent my anger and let it out. In fact, somebody came out of church after 8 o'clock service and said, I think that one's not a myth. Wrong. It is, because anger has an energy. Yes, it's not healthy to suppress it, and we shouldn't ignore it, but If we get angry and just spew all over anyone or anything that gets our knickers in a twist, then it's gonna be an unhappy world. So that's not true. A second one of commonly held behavior is if I use aggression and intimidation, it will help me get the respect I need. Wrong. Big power never comes from bullying. People may be afraid of you, but they're certainly not going to respect you if you can't keep yourself under control and handle opposing points of view. And the third is, and I used this when I was young, I just can't help it. I just can't. Wrong. Yes, you can. You can't control how you feel, but you can control how you react to those feelings that come from it inside. You can express your anger without being verbally abusive or physically abusive. Even if somebody is pushing all your buttons intentionally, you have the choice on how you're going to respond. So, when you're nice and calm, it's good for us now to go on to the second step, which is identify your anger MO. MO is Latin abbreviation for modus operandi, which is what is your usual mode of operating? What's your usual way of handling your anger? And it kind of falls into two categories. There's spewers and there's stewers. If you take them and put them on a continuum, spewers and stewers, you'll find yourself kind of falling somewhere in the middle. First are the spewers. Whenever they get angry, it just comes out, and it comes out strong. A good example is road rage. You see a totally normal, happy, loving human being get out on the road, get caught up, and all of a sudden you see gestures and hear words that you never thought the person was capable of. Or you pick up the phone and the telemarketer and you just let all your anger out. And it's just some person trying to make $1. They don't even care about the product, but they do care about the sale. It's something that just comes out and spews out like lava overflowing. That's a spewer. For spewers, there's a couple Bible passages that are appropriate. First of all, from Proverbs 29. Fools vent their anger, but the wise quietly hold it back. Or also from 29, an angry person starts fights, and a hot-tempered person commits all sorts of sin. Those are the spewers. On the other end of the spectrum are the stewers. They get angry and they keep it all inside. They stifle it. They try to cover it up. They try to ignore it. However, they're smoldering on the inside. They internalize their rage and they pick at it, they revisit it, they go back to it. It becomes like a poison gurgling on the inside. The thoughts frequently turn to revenge, like, what am I going to do to get that person that got me? And the anger almost becomes an obsession. For those, there's this passage from the book of Ephesians where St. Paul wrote, read it with me. Be angry and do not sin. Do not let the sun go down on your anger, and give no opportunity to the devil. Now, anger rarely goes away by itself, but ignoring it doesn't make it any better. So let's take a little poll. How many of you tend, and you can vote quietly, how many of you tend to be more spewers? And how many of you tend to be more stewers? And how many of you are kind of in the middle, depending on who you're talking to? Yeah, that's right, kind of where I fall. Well, if we don't deal with our anger creatively, it poisons our relationships with unforgiveness. It leads to hatred. It leads to depression. And it distorts our entire world view. So now, surefire second saver number 1. Get rid of the myths. Number 2, get a handle on your MO. And third is figure out what's going on behind your anger. When you get angry, see if you can figure out what's going on behind it. A whole bunch of years ago, I had this guy at the church I was serving. We got to be good friends. I've been through a lot with their family, and we had similar personalities. And and did a lot of fun stuff together, and together he worked his way up to leadership in the congregation, and eventually he was president. And we were doing fantastic things in the church, and then one day, he just started acting weird. It was like not friendly, and almost mean, pointing out things that I did wrong, and I was feeling really bad. And finally I told him, I said, "What is going on?" And he said, "Are you kidding me?" I said, "No, what's going on?" I said, "You remember 2 weeks ago you came to the church council and announced that you're going to another church?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "That really ticks me off. I said, I am so mad at you. We've got church going so well. We're doing things in the name of God. We're enjoying each other. We've got great ministries going, and you're leaving. I am so mad." I'll tell you, he went from a stewer to a spewer in about 3 seconds. I was really glad that he did, because then we could talk about it. And I understood his anger, and I felt his anger, and we could talk about it and say, this is just the normal progress of going on. And we decided that we're going to still be friends, and we actually got closer, and we came up with a plan for the next adventure with a new pastor, and we did tremendous things until the time came for us to pull out of town. Like it says in the book of Proverbs, the wisdom of the wise keeps life on track, and the foolishness of fools lands them in the ditch. Surefire second saver number 1. Clear up your myths about anger. Number 2, get a handle on your anger. And all 3, figure out what's going behind the scenes. And then surefire second saver number 4, fix any negative thought patterns that trigger your temper. As we grow up, we kind of develop things that sometimes are good and sometimes are bad. Sometimes we get very unhealthy thought patterns going within ourselves that are totally not helpful, especially when it comes to anger. It's good for us to recognize those. One of them is overgeneralizing. 2 words that characterize this are always and never. You always interrupt me. I never get the credit I deserve. You always get the final word. No one ever gives me the respect I deserve. And the New York version, what am I, chopped liver? Having these will always, never, everyone, no one things will always be unhelpful to keep a lid on our tempers. A second one is obsessing on shoulds and musts. In other words, having a rigid view of the way things must be or must not be will never help keep us from going off the deep end. Because no one is perfect. Nothing is perfect. No one is going to meet all of our expectations. So we just need to cut each other a little slack and throw in a little humor. Instead of letting our rage rise, let our humor come out and our love for each other. Third one is mind reading and jumping to conclusions. Hey, have you ever had something happen and you're reflecting on it, you're thinking, you start getting an idea of what the other person was thinking, and then you're sure of it, and then you build it, you construct these scenarios where you get madder and madder and madder, and then when you actually talk about it, you find out you're totally off base. Missed it completely. That can be a really bad habit of mind reading or jumping to conclusions that aren't necessarily true. So if we get that under control, it's going to be more healthy. Another one is collecting straws. Somebody does something that really makes you angry, and then you start looking for other things that will tick you off about them. So they do something, you think, oh, collect the straw. And then they do the same thing again. And then somebody does something else, and they say something, and even something they've always done, but now it just stands out like a glaring, glazing flaw, and you keep going until all of a sudden you get that one straw that breaks the camel's back, and you spew all over the place. And then the fifth thing that can go wrong is blaming. No matter what happens, it's your fault. Never. It's always used. Blaming doesn't go. And that can go the other way too. You can always go, well, oh, I'm sorry, it's my fault. Oh, I'm sorry, it's my fault. And either way, blaming is not good. If we could just get over having to investigate whose fault everything is, we can go on and fill and live the love of Jesus Christ. Okay, then the final second savor is love what St. James said. I'll read it, see, it's a little small. But this is what he wrote. He said, whatever is good and perfect comes down to us from God our Father, who created all the lights in the heavens. And he never changes. He never casts a shifting shadow. He chose to give birth to us by giving us his true word. And we, out of all creation, became his prized possession. That is the gospel right there. That God gave birth to us. And that he has declared you to be his prized possession. So just if you want to remember these things as you go home today. Clear up any myths you have about anger. Get rid of it. Second of all, discover your anger MO, or you are a steward, because it helps you to deal with it more effectively. Look behind what's going on behind your anger when you get angry and figure it out. Fix negative triggers or negative thoughts that we have. And love St. James. And what he said about God is true. And go take this with you as well. For every minute you're angry, you lose 60 seconds of happiness.